So today is Wednesday, January 22nd, and this call is all about being a horse-assisted coach and the horse-assisted coaching certification program that I created. I am Jennifer Maloka, and I have been doing this a long time, and I'm going to actually share my screen, and we're going to go through a presentation that I created. That's good. Oh, one moment, please. We're going to, one moment, please. There we go. Okay, so welcome to the transformative healing power of horses. And come on, I am so sorry. Like, I don't know why this isn't working. I have these great slides and oh, there we go. Okay, so one of the things I want to say is all of the pictures that you're going to see in the presentation are of clients and horses, my own horses, and horses that I've partnered with throughout the US, Canada, and Ireland. And most of these are actually from the US and different either groups or individuals that I've worked with. And let's see. So I have been doing this particular work for a little over 15 or a little under 15 years. And I got my first horse, Teddy, as an off-the-track thoroughbred with an anger management problem. And I'd never actually owned a horse, never leased a horse. And I got my first horse at 45. Wow. So usually, lifelong equestrians think, oh yeah, green horse, green rider, that's just a disaster, which it would have been had it not been, thank God for Buck Brannaman and learning his horsemanship. So my journey with Teddy was one of a lot of discovery. I learned how to have a healthy boundary without anger. I learned how to be fully present in every moment because he required it of me. I learned how to communicate clearly and effectively in order to be the leader I needed to be to save his life, which ironically later on I realized was really the leader I needed to be to save my own. During my journey with Teddy, I realized, wow, I'm really getting a lot of learning out of this partnership with my horse. I want to do this and share this with others. And so then I went through a 2-year certification program based in Gestalt psychology, partnering with horses. I did an additional 100 hours of training in Gestalt psychology without the horses. I also have a degree in fitness, which that's what I was prior to shifting into horse-assisted coaching. I was a fitness professional that coached over 350 women across the finish line of their first fitness event. And so I've been coaching a long time in a lot of different ways. And my approach to coaching is all about the interconnectedness of all things. The horses have a very, very special power where, because they are prey, people who have experienced any type of abuse share an energetic signature because they have been preyed upon. And because of that, the horses recognize that energetic signature. They read energy, they read intention, and that's how they connect. And being able to watch my horse and understand, and even not just my horse, but the horses I partnered with, I understand what they're trying to tell me, what they're showing me. And so I really look at the power of horsemanship, the power of being fully in our bodies and being curious, because when I work with clients, they are, as far as I'm concerned, and I am dead fast set in this approach, every single client that I've ever worked with is the world's foremost authority on themselves. They are the world's leading expert on themselves. They have every answer they will ever need inside of them. My job as a coach is to help them understand that they have the questions and ask the questions that they're not asking themselves, and then teach them how to ask those questions so that they can find their own answers themselves when we're not working with each other. And I've worked with groups from Microsoft, Amazon, in a corporate setting. I've worked with survivors of human trafficking, teen girls, mothers, sons, father, daughters, business partners, individuals, groups. So I've Girl Scout groups, survivors of brain injuries, and so much more. So there's so many different groups that this coaching approach can serve. And I am a horse-assisted coach. I am certified Gestalt coach, certified wellness coach. I also spent 2 years at Bastyr in Juanita, Washington, getting certified in Indigenous wisdom studies. I'm a Reiki master, certified animal communicator, degreed sporting or fitness professional. And I've been working as a spiritual awakening mentor, and I'm also a licensed minister because certifiable. And if you are here in the right place, if you have a heart of service, if you have been thinking about a career as a horse-assisted coach, if you are a spiritual equestrian, and when I say spiritual, I mean open to the truth of all religions. I use God a lot. I talk about Christ, angels, that a lot. However, I truly believe in the truth of all the religions because we're all interconnected. And so it's really important for us to understand how interconnected we all are. You're in the right place if you have a deep desire to make the world a better place. And from your own personal experience with your own horse that they are healing. So my promise to you over the time that we're together is you'll get to know me a little bit. You will have a clear understanding of the components of the Horses Gift Certification Program, and I promise that there will be time for Q&A. So I decided to create and start offering the Horses Gift Certification Program because, to be honest, I've been doing this a long time, and I'm going to be 61 this year, and I don't want the work that I do in the world to stop when I retire, which it probably be in a few years. I mean, I love what I do. However, the other reason why I created the program is because I listed off a bunch of different groups that I have worked with in my own career. My sweet spot, the group that I love working with the most are people who've experienced abuse and trauma. Those are my people. I love them. I love the ugly cry. And I love seeing where they start, watching them as I coach them through the processes that I use to help them heal, to see them on the other side. They're lighter, they're happier, and they thrive. And there's such a demand. There's such a need and demand for horse-assisted coaching. People who have experienced PTSD, veterans, things that happen while they're serving, that's not just included in the active war zones. There's first responders, there's social workers, there's there's the deeper stuff, there's the lighter stuff. It's teaching corporate how to communicate more clearly and effectively. There's goal setting, there's business development. Like, the sky is the limit for how to partner with horses to make the world a better place. My personal mission statement is to create world peace to the best of my ability through the use of my healing gifts. And like I said, there's so many different groups and application for horse assisted coaching. And in fact, I've worked with some other groups that I've worked with are individuals who have who ride at Grand Prix dressage level. I've worked with nationally ranked hunter jumpers. I've worked with trail riders to help them become better partners with their horses, so that they like the dressage and hunter jumpers, so that they could get to the next level of competition. And like I said earlier, Teddy taught me how to be fully present in every moment, how to have a healthy boundary without anger. And this one actually was really, really difficult for me, because I grew up in an extremely abusive household, which is why my heart is really is a trauma and abuse recovery specialist, because of my own journey. So, and because of my journey, having a boundary without anger was incredibly difficult, because every time I tried to have a boundary in my life, I got punished. Where having a boundary with Teddy, I actually learned that he felt safer. So it deepened our connection and our ability to become a better partner, or have a better partnership. And so that led me to think, oh, I wonder if that's what it's like between human and human. And lo and behold, it was. How to communicate clearly and effectively, how to become the leader I needed to be to save his own life, which I mentioned earlier. What I didn't mention is when I said, ironically, I became the leader I needed to be to save my own life, when about 12 years ago, March, I had a really bad riding accident. I cracked my hard shell riding helmet and I suffered a brain injury. And then from the time of my brain injury moving forward until a few years ago, things were pretty challenging for me. And the leader I needed to be for Teddy, I needed to be that leader for myself, which here I am. So, like I said, as you see the different pictures, and I share the different stories, I really, really, really want you to think about what group you would like to work with. I know that there's people who are in recovery. There are people that want to serve other people that are on their recovery journey. There's grief, there's eating disorders, there's just like so many different applications. And is there a group of people that you already know that you'd like to work with? And what impact do you personally want to make in the world? My personal mission statement is to create world peace to the best of my ability through the use of my healing gifts. That has been my personal mission statement for decades. And that's what makes me just keep going and driving me forward every day. Not driving, and because I love doing it. So are you ready to learn about the program and how you can get paid for doing work you love, helping others, which is what I've been doing for 15 years. So the Horses Gift Certification Program is immersive. There's a lot of hands-on learning where you partner directly with your own horse and partner with the horses here during our 4-day in-person sessions. There's comprehensive certification, like mastering the tools and techniques of how to read the horse's language, how to be connected to your horse, and how to get into the place of being curious of, that's an interesting thing that person brought up. And it's really important to, there's something I teach my clients, it's called being an outside observer. And when we're an outside observer, it's more clinical. We're looking, we're not getting emotionally involved. And that's really important when it comes to serving our clients. Is, well, I do feel it deeply and passionately, I don't get emotionally triggered with anything that they are going through, because I've done my own personal healing work, which definitely is a requirement of this program, so that you don't get triggered when working with a client, so that you can stay in integrity and stay in that sense of curiosity, so you can ask the questions to help the clients find their own answers. So I'm only allowing 12 people to enroll in the certification program this year, because I really want to make sure that every student knows the material, that they understand the material, know the material, feel very comfortable with the material, and their ability to partner with their horses to coach. And I've been doing this a long time, and so I want to make sure that everybody who goes through my program is solid. I don't want to create a bunch of mini-me's, but I do want everybody who goes through my program to be exceptional at knowing the material so that you can really serve at the highest level. There's personal growth. As I mentioned, everybody has to do their own personal healing work. And the reason for doing your own personal healing work is so that, like I mentioned before, if you're working with a client who has a situation that's similar to one that you've experienced, but you haven't done your work around, then you could get triggered. And it's as coaches, it's imperative that we not start commiserating with our client about what was going on. It's all about, okay, well, how can I serve? How can I help them navigate through this? And something that really is very, very different about this program than any other program is the professional growth and business development aspects. I have gone through many programs to oh yeah, you can have your own business. Well, I have had a business and run profitable businesses. I've had multiple of them. So I know what is needed, what is necessary, how to network, how to do business development, how to create your niche, how to package, how to price, how to find your clients, how to build sustainable growth in your business and be profitable. And so that is something that I really want to be. I think that's a very important component for any program. And I've also created a business in a box tech toolkit, which is the templates for website, landing page, email, like the whole thing, because I want to make it as easy as possible because not everybody is comfortable in tech. So core components is the horse-human connection. Like I mentioned, understanding the horse's energy. There's the most current trauma recovery methods. And don't let the word trauma scare you off. And I have a slide a little bit later. The difference between trauma and abuse is abuse 100% of the time is traumatic, but trauma isn't always abuse. Trauma is getting in a car accident, getting married, having a baby, buying a house, losing a job, having a new job, anything, getting in a car accident, losing a loved one. Any of those are they're not life-threatening, they're not abuse, but they are life-altering. And that's important to understand. And different people experience trauma in very different ways, but understanding trauma and trauma recovery is important, is a very important aspect of this program. My indigenous wisdom and spiritual practices, like I said, it's a spiritual program, not a religious program, but it doesn't mean that if somebody is of a religion, that's okay, because it's not going against a religion. It's an inclusive stance. And holistic coaching methods. And like I mentioned, I have a degree in fitness and I am a certified wellness coach, and I've been doing this for a long time. So what I do is I incorporate the physical body, the emotional body, the mental body, and the spiritual body in order to help the whole person, because we're not just our bodies, we're not just our emotions, we're literally all of it. Practical coaching skills, like I mentioned a little bit about how to become the outside observer. There's a whole program that I take my clients through that the students of the Horse's Gift certification program will be going through as well. And that's part of doing your own personal healing work. And the program delivery is weekly group training calls. And that's going to be both coaching and training in one, and then monthly one-on-one coaching calls. There's going to be some pre-recorded training modules. I'm going to have guest teachers. There's four-day in-person trainings each year with the horses. And that's where you'll learn your processes. You'll learn how to understand what the horses are saying and how they're partnering with you and how to partner with the horses. Then training requirements, you're going to be responsible for doing practice coaching sessions. You need to attend in all the in-person trainings. You need to do your own personal healing work. I know I've said that multiple times, but it's really critical. Do all the homework and attend all the training and coaching sessions, even if you're attending them after the fact as a recording. So I promised you that you get to know me a little bit, have a clear understanding of the components of the horse's gift certification program, and I'm going to answer your questions in a few minutes. Oh, and the horse in this picture is actually the horse who started it all. That's Teddy. So I already mentioned, because it's so important for me that people understand the difference between abuse and trauma. So the 5 steps to partnering successfully with your horse as a co-coach in transformational healing is to build trust and connection with your horse. Oh, and I see a typo. Understanding the role of your horse in the coaching process, creating a safe environment for healing for yourself, for your horse, for your clients. And I say clients because you might be doing groups. Boy, too, and please don't judge me for my spelling errors. Introduce trauma-informed techniques and lay the groundwork for your coaching practice. So like I said, every picture tells a story, and any horse can do this work. Like I said, I've literally partnered with horses all over the United States, Canada, Ireland, and people really, really, really need help. And you can live a life, create and live a life, a successful, profitable life as a horse-assisted coach. The Horse's Gift program is a 2-year program. Exclusive, intimate setting, like I said, only 12 participants per year get to be enrolled. There's obviously expert guidance from me, including, like I said, expert guest teachers that I'll be bringing in from time to time. Hands-on experiential learning, which is really super important. The holistic approach of, integrate like I said, integrate the personal, the spiritual, professional, all of it, and life-changing transformation. It's your life will not be the same in the best possible way. And as I mentioned, the comprehensive business development training. And I have ridden with Buck. These pictures are not recent, but I rode with Buck actually last June with one of my other horses, because the Teddy the Wonder Horse actually passed away 2 years ago this month. And that's me with him after my accident at a Buck clinic. But if you want to become a horse-assisted coach, you really can. You really can. And I will be with you every step of the way. So, like I promised, there'll be time to get your questions answered. So I'm going to stop sharing. So, questions?
Yeah, I mean, my immediate reactions are, wow, this very much lines up with who I am, my philosophies, my way of working with my horses, and sort of the direction I want to go. And then my knee-jerk reaction is, oh goodness, this sounds very time intensive. And as soon as I hear like 4-day in present, I'm like, I have no idea how I'd work that into my calendar. So those are just my immediate like knee-jerk takeaways. Is again, this lines up to where I currently am in life and the direction I want to go. And then it's okay, but I'm also overbooked right now in life as well. So it's like, where do you find the balance and time? To the point with my own horses, I'm trying not to take on, like with the training of them, oh, hey, look, here's one more online training course I can sign up for. It's like, why don't you finish the one you started, then think about adding another
I'm not laughing at you.
right? How about we finish this one, the 30-day one that we're 4 months now. Let's do that one. But anyway, so again, very much lines up with where I'm at. It was interesting to hear you talk about curiosity, because I've actually been writing articles about curiosity, industry articles, because of the work I do with software. But I have a Mustang that I brought home in September, and he's so curious about everything, and I'm blown away by his curiosity, because he has every right in the world to have all this trauma, and he's not. He's like, hey, what's this? Let me check that. He just, and he, when he shuts down, though, his curiosity goes away. So curiosity for me is now the signal of, oh, you're fully present because you're curious.
And that is, so many people are not present, they're floating heads.
Yeah.
And so that's part of, so this program isn't just about teaching you how to do what I do, but cleaning up the stuff.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, my calendar, the time, and just cleaning that up. So that we need to create structure within our lives in order to have the freedom we desire. But there's always a give and take. There's always a pro and con, right? Even if we're choosing between two great things, there's going to be a win and, pro and a con. We will benefit and we will not benefit did that make sense, that statement?
Yeah. And I mean, and then on my own, I've been trying to start my own, just sort of coaching, transformational coaching work. And granted, I don't have any certifications, but I've worked with a lot of people, and those are more when I start writing articles, like that's the stuff I'm like, oh, I'd so much rather dive into this. And I'm working in AI right now in ChatGPT, and I actually wrote a GPT specific to coaching, and it helps people change out their negative thoughts. And so I shared it with a few people, and they loved it. So then I'm like, okay, why am I not pursuing that? But that challenge right there, as soon as I took that on, I was like, I'm going to go build a website and a business. My work at work doubled. And I'm like, oh, thank you, universe, I think. So
the universe will always wants to make sure that when we make a decision, are you sure?
Yeah.
And it's interesting because my sons have watched me have a business their whole lives in one version of another. And my oldest has created a new business. And so he asked me, this is like going kind of off target, but it's still on target. He went, for a long time, he wouldn't let me help him at all. No, I've watched you. I know about business. I'm like, no, you don't. So he came to me and said, hey, Mom, I need to make some business goals. I'm like, great. So I dove in because, he knew, right? And that was a mistake on my part, because after I dove into some of the things that I've teach clients, and I've been teaching clients for years, he was lost, and I had to scale it back and meet him where he was, not where I thought he was, where he told me he was, which wasn't where he was. And now he's able to articulate what his goals are. He understands there's much more to having a business than he initially thought, but he has the support. And that's important, because having a business is not, it's straightforward, and there's a lot to it. And so understanding all the componentry, no other certification program out there that I know of has a business development component.
Yeah, I thought, well, that really got my interest, because I was like, oh, hey, this takes a lot of the guesswork out. I was just trying to do my own thing right now. It has been a challenge to sit down and do that and make that happen. My goal has been, instead, like a goal I set for myself years ago, and I'm finally doing it, is, publish a weekly article on LinkedIn. I'm doing it. I've been doing it since this, probably November now. And the cool thing is I have my article ready to go a week before now. It's ready, and it's either industry specific or it's more coaching, so anywhere from the one coming out Monday is on shifting left in software development and thinking, you know, quality prior to testing. And 2 articles ago, it was about this meditation exercise I made up, where you go time travel in your meditation and visit past versions of yourself and heal. In my meditation, after I'm grounded, I go have a conversation with me from a period of time in my past, and I visit her, and we heal through whatever is in that moment. You know, so
That's
it's like,
very gestalty.
so that's what LinkedIn is seeing. They're seeing like software
So,
tech person, and they're seeing meditation person in the same frame.
and that what comes up for me right away with that is, it's great that you're writing the articles and hitting that goal. However, unless you are very clear of your why,
Yeah.
then people are going to get confused, and they're not going to understand, well, how am I supposed to hear this? How am I supposed to like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah.
And so that's part of this program though too.
Yeah.
And
So yeah, a lot of what the boxes, like, you're checking a lot of boxes for me. It's like, wow, this is sort of the package, and it takes a lot of my guesswork out. And, you know, we also, when you're saying a 2-year program, I'm like, that's almost a little more doable, because it's not like 6 months, really intense, we got to get it done. It's like, oh, okay, and again, my timeline is, I want to, in 5 years, say, okay, yeah, I can step away from this corporate thing I'm doing, if they don't step away from me first, and go be on my own 2 feet.
and that my goal, to just kind of dive a little bit more into this, my goal is for my students within the first 9 to 12 months be making money as a horse assisted coach.
Nice.
The second year is really all about refinement and dialing it in, because it's a lot of information. And the first year you're learning processes, and there's a lot of like fire hose stuff going on. But I do my utmost to make it digestible. And that's why there's the monthly one-on-one coaching sessions too, plus the weekly calls, which are going to be recorded in the modules. And I know that the 4 days seems a lot. However, in those 4 days, that's where you connect with your community, you learn the processes, and though you develop your skills as a coach, as a horse assisted coach, so that when you go off to practice, you can partner with your own horses. And they're like I said, there's practice sessions that you're going to have to do as you refine. And so the second year, it's more about the really refining everything, the business, the honing everything in, and even doing some practice teaching for the new students that are coming in, so that you have that opportunity too.
Yeah.
I know like what I would have wanted when way back in the day, before horse assisted coaching was even really a thing, that there was, if I had not had my fitness business already, I don't think I would have known how to do what I do and be successful at it. I would have been pretty lost in a lot of ways. So I put everything into this program that I would have wanted to be successful back in the day. So, and I actually have a couple more slides that I want to share. Because I'm actually offering, I'm recording this for a reason. This is also for you to be able to model me, right? So everything, whenever I teach, I want my students to watch, not only listen to what I'm saying, but watch what I'm doing, watch how I do it, so that they can start to learn from what I'm doing. So this is a special invitation to a one-on-one call with me. And I think that you and I are a great fit anyway. You'll get a link for having a call with me. And if you know that you're ready to take the step to become a horse assisted coach, you know and understand how powerful how powerful horses are as healers, and you understand that the program requires an investment of time and financial resources. And come on, are you going to move? And oh, there we go. So way back in the day, I had a couple of choices, and it's interesting, like when I first started my certification program to learn how to do this, my ex was not thrilled that I was, anyway, it doesn't matter, but I had two choices. Like I could either step into what I knew I was born to do or not, and that's okay. Either choice is okay. And like I said, regardless of what choice we make, we're going to benefit and we're going to lose out. That's just the way choices are. But right now you have two choices. Imagine truly what your life would look like a year from now if you start taking action today, and what your life would be like partnering with your horse, helping your dream client and getting paid for it. Like, I want you to just really think about that and say yes. So here's the link to schedule a call with me. And after we go through it, either you will be a good fit or you won't. We will both know it. Yeah. And if you are a good fit, then I will invite you into the program. And if you're not, I won't. And even if I invite you, you can still say no. And I want you to look in your heart and ask yourself, if not now, when? And we all know that in order to get different results in our lives, we have to make different choices. Otherwise, we're just going to keep getting what we've always gotten. And if you haven't already, on my website, winnercirclecoaching.com, if you do the backslash the horse's gift, you can download 5 steps to partner with your horse as a co-coach for transformational healing. And there's the program is actually all laid out on the program on the website as well. So feel free to go ahead and download that. And that is the presentation.
Yeah, no, again, that's good. I'll be curious. It does sound like a good fit for me. I just have to get past right now the overwhelm that is my life.
And that's something that the 4 days are in the warmer months.
Yeah.
Because as you know, in the Northwest, it rains.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And
yeah, no, it's just because of it being it's also the busiest time of year. You know, I'm on a board of a local saddle club, and we, trying to get all our dates out for the year. And I'm like,
oh, right, yeah.
You got to tell me what we're doing when, so I can book my calendar around it. But at the same time, I can, if I know in advance, I can just block things out and make it work. And it's also that investment in myself, so, and the fact that you're here, I'm not having to go out of state to go for 4 days and do this. So there's just everything lined up well. I would like to establish whatever business direction I'm going. I'd like to start establishing it now so I can transition. Again, my partner, he'll be retiring when we move, and I fully intended, I work remote, I fully intended to take a corporate job with me. And then the company has changed in the last year, and I've survived 3 pretty aggressive rounds of layoffs, and the writing is on the wall. And I'm like, oh, okay, so you're not who I thought you were. This company is no longer the rah, we're a family, we love each other. All right. So,
And that's something that when we work for ourselves, we have the power to control our schedules.
Yeah.
And with that said, it's super easy to, like, the schedule you currently have, I don't know how I'm going to fit it all in. I used to be there. And it wasn't until I started to, once I was super crystal clear on what I wanted, when I was able to see what I was tolerating that I had to versus what I was tolerating that I didn't have to, and get really clean on all that, that allowed me to make decisions about my time from a very different place.
Yeah.
either it fit in with what I was wanting to do and where I was going, or it didn't. If it was something that didn't, but I wanted to do it, then it's like, okay, well, I need to make that choice then. But being on purpose whenever we make choices is really important, I feel.
Yeah. Yeah, no, agreed. Yeah, and that's the goal I want to get to. I want my time to become my time again. And what really triggered this for me too is we have this property in Oregon. We go down once a quarter. We spend a week there, and each time we're there, I'm like, why am I not doing it? Why are we not here now? Like, why? It's just there's a peace that comes over me within about 10 minutes of landing on the property. And I'm like, and it needs 10 years. It's got 10 years worth of cleanup that it needs right now. And, the houses aren't livable, but I see like so clear. I see where we're going with that and I see the future there. And I feel like my job over the next few years is to line myself up to that property. Like, so now when I show up, I'm fully aligned to what it's already there for. It's already there.
Love it. I
I
love
gotta get lined up
that.
inside because, what they said about 10 minutes of being there, I'm like, oh, yeah, we got to do this. Yeah.
Do you have any other questions for me about the program or what's included or?
No, not really. I think it'll be just getting that call with you and then figuring out, for me, again, the biggest thing I looked at was the four, that's 16 days that I'd have to just plan out.
It'll be over weekends.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
So that's because it's not going to be during the week. It's going to be
Yeah.
like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Thursday. Well, it'll be like Friday, Monday. I mean, there's going to be 2 weekdays, but over the weekend.
Yeah, and that's doable. Again, if I can block that stuff out and just say, okay, these are my days, everybody around me. These are
And that's the thing. It's important to remember, and I'm not just speaking to you in this moment, but if we want something else, right, we have to prioritize.
Yeah.
Well, if I want that, then I have to be willing to do this. And like I said, I'm only taking 12. And so not everybody's going to be a great fit.
Yeah.
And that's okay. And the people who are a great fit,
Yeah.
it's like Christmas and New Year and birthday.
You mentioned that you're also a certified animal communicator. And I signed up for, and there's this great course, and I signed up for it. I was taking it, and I will get back to it at some point, but I stepped out of it because one, it was all about, hey, if you're going to go do this work, you're going to find that you probably have to do a lot of soul healing and work yourself, right? So I've been doing that since I was 14 years old. So I was like, that's not a problem. Yeah, I got this. Well, shit, I was so frustrated because I'm a perfectionist and I couldn't get the intuitiveness I thought I had in me. So I actually, like in module 3, put the program aside and just went and focused on getting right with me, daily meditations. And I keep thinking I'm going to pick that back up. I just haven't gotten back to it yet. But I was really upset with myself when it's like, I can't do the thing. Like it was the part of the program where you were actually starting to get in touch with the clairs and see which one and I was just getting nothing. And I was like, my biggest fear in that program, and I think my biggest fear even with something like this is, what if I'm no good at it? And I stepped away from the animal communication thing, which I'm all about. And now I recognize that actually I do have a level with my own horses now. My younger horse, I need to actually go do a session with an animal communicator because he is telling me things that I'm like, okay, that is not coming from me. That is coming from outside of me. Because I had this impression of him like, oh, you're the baby horse. And he's like, actually, no, I'm not. And what the message that came through, I went, oh, wow, that is not from me. So now I'm starting to maybe get the intuitive hit that I was really, but I just like, they said module 3, I went, oh, I can't, I don't have the gift. I'm just going to walk away.
So there's so much in what you just said that I want to dive into because I actually have a year-long program that I taught called the Awakened Angel Academy, and it does talk about the seasons, the clairs, and all that stuff, which is going to be included because it's all interconnected, right? The animal communication, the being present, the thing that I even if you get nothing else from this call, I really, really would love for you to be kinder and gentler and less judgy towards yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
And because that's, I love that you talk about having conversations with past versions of yourself. When we are judgmental and harsh with our current self, it's not just our current self we're being harsh with or
Yeah.
judgmental with. It's past versions of ourselves who those versions did the best they could. And now you're no longer her, and you're able to help her become, heal her and feel safe. And like, there's so much more to that than I have time for. But all I've been, like I said, I've been doing this a long time, and trauma and abuse recovery and just like how people work has always fascinated me. Whether it was the like way back in the day when I was doing my fitness program, fitness trainer and group programs and stuff, I could create the most incredible fitness program on the planet. However, if the person had disordered thought processes, it wouldn't matter, which is when I got my first wellness coaching certification, which led to, all the things. So, and I started, because of my particular history, I started seeing therapists when I was 11. And I've done a lot of different therapy, and because of the profound and abuse I experienced as a child and through my teens, the safest, fastest, gentlest healing processes I've ever experienced are ones partnering with horses.
Yeah.
And it's because like talk therapy keeps people in their heads, where everything that we experience, both positively and negatively, is stored cellularly in our bodies. And in order to release it from our bodies, we need to be able to tap into our emotions. And most people don't want to be in their bodies, especially if they've experienced abuse, because that's the place that has not been safe. But ironically, it is the place that is the safest, but we have to learn how to trust ourselves and our own natural resources. And so that's what I'm hearing a lot of what you're talking about with the animal communicator stuff, is just really trusting yourself and understanding why you do what you do. And that's just, I get really excited about this stuff. Can you tell?
Yeah, yeah, no, and I get that. I mean, I'm really big on the all things are connected. I've been teaching the 3-year-old Mustang who had 100 days of training when I got him, and I had this episode with him where I had to go back and restart him. And that's when I recognized how shut down he was, which, he got rounded up by a helicopter. That would maybe best him up a little. And he didn't know how to manage his emotions. And so that's what we've done. And now he has a voice and he has a lot to say. And I've actually had moments where I'm like, oh, maybe I didn't want to hear all that. But it also, to me, I see the same translation in humans.
Right.
With everything I'm learning from him fits very well with humans.
Doesn't it just?
Yeah. And
right. Only they're experts at emotional intelligence.
Yeah. Yeah.
And every single horse is going to be different. Like Teddy, I always saw his love monger side. Calvin, my second horse, very stoic, very, he really wanted connection, but didn't know how to, because he hadn't ever had it really. So he would watch me snuggling with Teddy and I could just feel his longing. But when I went to go give it to him, he could only withstand about 10 seconds. And now he comes up and goes, "Hi, Mom, I love you, cats and screeches." Like it's a learning, right? And Hanky Pants, he was my youngest. So Teddy was 28 when he transitioned. Calvin is currently 29. Hank is like 12, and I just got another horse. All of them are rescues, and this new horse landed with me. His name is Chester, and he is a Dutch harness horse. Never heard of the breed, and he's a brindle. never seen his color combination. Even the farrier's like, I've never seen anything like that. So he's super cute and he's learning, and it's interesting to watch as they come out, their true personalities come out, and being able to support them is really important to me. And Buck Brannaman says, I help horses with people problems. I help humans with human problems through partnering with horses.
Yeah.
Which it is very similar, but it's very different because Buck's focus is always on the horse. While my focus is on the horse, it's also partnering with the horse to help humans heal.
Yeah.
So, well, I'm going to stick true to our word. It's 12:27 and schedule a call with me and just, now I used to be so proficient at, whatchamacallit, Zoom and PowerPoint, and thank you for offering me some grace. The TBI, the brain injury still glitches me sometimes. So, there's that.
So then do you send out a link as a follow-up?
Yeah, you'll be
Okay.
getting a link. You'll also get the recording.
Okay.
So you'll get the recording. There's going to be a link for scheduling a call. And I really look forward to our call.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then do you have like a side business where you offer animal communication?
I don't.
Okay. No,
I
I have one I've worked with in the past. I want to get her take on the new horse at some point.
I would, during our call, I want to challenge you to a couple things about that, because if you're already picking things up, it might be that you simply need to trust yourself more. And so, and I do, like I am a certified animal communicator. I do listen to other animals, but that's not my side hustle.
Yeah.
That's part of what makes me good at what I do. Because
Yeah.
I'm listening to them.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
I think trusting yourself more and giving yourself some more grace is going to be a good thing.
Yeah, no, that would be.
Just throwing it out there.
Yeah. It's interesting because there's these two sides of me right now where, the corporate world, there's not a lot of that self-trust just in that world anyway. And then I'm over here and, what a friend of mine used to call the airy fairy world.
Yeah, the woo-woo stuff.
Yeah. And it's like, but I want to be over here with the woo.
Yeah, I'm
But
very,
but I like the salary of the corporate world.
I love the analytical. I'm very analytical, and I'm very woo-woo, like, and very creative and artistic. And it's like my, what is it? The ENFJ type stuff.
Oh yeah.
I am like so close to zero in so many things
Oh.
that I'm able to leverage both sides really fairly well. And so that's one of the things I also teach clients too, is how to tap into both sides, because there's a whole different thing, but divine masculine, divine feminine, toxic masculine, toxic feminine, and just understanding all of that. There's so much to this program that's why it's 2 years.
Yeah.
So, I'm excited about our call.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll talk to you soon.
Bye, Melissa.
Okay, bye.